In this lesson, we are going to look at series. So a series is the sum of the terms in a sequence. If we have a sequence of values, we're going to add all the terms in the sequence together, and the total is called the series. So we have two formulas for this, depending on what kind of information that we have. So we have this formula where the sum would be the number of terms in the sequence, and we would maybe know the first term and the last term and divide by 2. So if we have that information, we can use this formula. We can also use this formula where you know the first term, the common difference, and the number of terms in the series. So we can use either one depending on the information that we're given. So for example, we have a series. These are arithmetic series. We'll look at geometric series in the next lesson. So in this series, we have a starting value of 2. And the common difference, it looks like the terms are going up by 9. Okay, and if I wasn't sure, I could take one term, subtract the term before it, and do that a couple of times just to make sure that we have that common difference every time. So this series has a first term of 2, a common difference of 9. First, it wants me to find just term 20. So not the series, just the term number. So I'm going to use my arithmetic term formula where we have the first term. It wants the 20th term, so 20 minus 1, and the common difference is 9. And we can just calculate that out. And that works out to be 173. In part B, it wants me to find the sum of the first 20 terms. So I don't want to have to write out 20 terms and then add them individually. So I'm going to use my sum formula. So the sum formula is n over 2. Then we have 2 times the first term, n minus 1 times the common difference. So I want 20 terms. So 20 divided by 2. The first term is 2. I want 20 terms, so n is 20. The common difference is 9. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. In the bracket, if I calculate this all out, it works out to be 175, and then times 10. So that total is, if I took this sequence of numbers and I wrote out 20 terms and I added them all together, I would have 1750. In this example, Samantha deposits 128 in her account, and every week she deposits 7 less than the previous week. She makes her last deposit of 9. So she has 128. The next term in a sequence would be 7 less, so 121. The next term would be 7 less, so 114, and so on, till she gets to her last deposit of 9. So what information do we have here? Well, we know the first term. We know the common difference. It's going down by 7. The number of terms we don't know. So it's hard to add up the series if I don't know how many terms are in the series. And I don't really want to have to write them all out. So what we can do first is find the number of terms in the series. So since we know the first term and the last term, we can use our term formula. We know the first term is 128. We know the last term is 9. So when I find n, that will be the number of terms in the series because I'm using the last term as t to the n. So n is going to be the number of terms in the series. So let's expand this bracket. What's that? 135. And then we're going to solve for n, so I'll bring the negative 7n to the left to make it positive. makes that 126, and then we'll divide by 7. So divide both sides by 7. Let's give myself a bit of room here. And we get a value of n of 18. So that means there are 18 terms in this series. Once I know that, I can now do the sum of the first, or of 18 terms. So you can use either formula. Let's try using the formula where we had n, because we know the first term and we know the last term. So we have 18 terms. The first term was 128. The last term was 9. So that's 18. 128 plus 9 divided by 2 is 68.5. Multiplied by 18 is 1233. And just to confirm, I'm going to use the other formula as well to show you that you could use both. So the other formula was n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. So we should get the same answer. So we know there's 18 terms. First term being 128. 18 minus 1, common difference was minus 7. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. This 18 minus 1 is 17 times negative 7, so that's minus 119. And that works out to be 1233. So you can see either formula we can use and we're going to get the same result. Okay, these are just some examples that I have put in here for you to try. So there's 3 questions here and the answers are given at the bottom, so you can practice with those, and then if you have any difficulties, just let me know.